So giving you guys an overview about me. So I've been into IT for past 13 plus years now, almost 14. And for me, my profile is all about ServiceNow, good or bad, but that's the only thing which I know. So yeah, my career has been all about ServiceNow. Yep. So yeah, to quickly begin with, first thing first, what I want to understand from both of you is what do you guys know about ServiceNow? Anything basic, anything technical, process, whatever.
Basically a ITSM tool, and where we can also use this platform for many modules implementation, like asset discovery and then service mapping, portfolio management, and there are many modules towards the ServiceNow platform. That's pretty much knowledge I have about this.
Okay, perfect. Kranti, do you want to add something?
Yeah, same thing for me. So I've not, so I've worked on other low code platforms, but I've not really digged into ServiceNow. Apart from I know that it's a low code platform as well, which is used to automate business processes. So that's all what I know for now.
Okay. So if I go ahead with a very basic definition, like let's say, suppose I'm an end user, and let's say you have to explain me as an end user that what is ServiceNow. Do you guys agree? The answer will be, it is a tool, it is a platform where we will create tickets. Can I make that statement?
Yes.
Right? The tickets could be of multiple use cases. Yeah, as Suma said, today we can even use ServiceNow to store the assets, the product details, your company level HR details and whatnot. But if I go ahead with the history, guys, like from the day one, how the tool was visioned and all those stuff, can I say it is a ticketing tool in a layman language? Do you guys agree on that?
Agree.
Yep, I mean the majority of ServiceNow is used like a ticketing platform, but you also have the ability to configure it into different business.
Yeah, I agree to I agree. As I said, like as Suma said, yeah, we can even store assets there. If you see today, ServiceNow is everywhere in the companies. Like let's say, if suppose all of us we work for a ABC company, so that company's every process for the in-house employees, ServiceNow is trying to provide a platform for that, right? ServiceNow says, okay, be it your IT, be it your HR, be it your finance, every aspect I'll help you automate it, right?
Yeah.
Agree. Yeah.
So what we need to understand over here in this case is, we need to understand over here in this particular one up that whenever we talk about basic, I'm not going into all those process areas for the time being, guys. I want to go with very basic, like I'm an end user. I don't know anything about ServiceNow. So your entry point to make the user understand the scope of the product will be that, okay, yeah, it is a ticketing tool, right? Again, obviously, all those areas, what are other areas it is expanded through, used for, and stuff like that, we will talk about. But I'll right now stick to ServiceNow as a ticketing tool. Now, any one of you, do you know that is ServiceNow, or let's say if I go in the past, was ServiceNow the first ticketing tool, or how does the history go? Any one of you, do you know that?
History, maybe I might be wrong, but just my thoughts here. Maybe they call the service desk and then.
So what I'm trying to get out of here is that is ServiceNow the only ticketing tool in the market, or do we have
No,
others?
no, there are different tools too. Yeah.
Okay. So I'll just give you an overview. So actually, I'm using this instance only as a notepad. So let's treat it as a notepad for the time being. So actually, if I take you to the history, guys, you will find it out that the concept of ticketing tool was not launched by ServiceNow. The concept of ticketing tool was existing from long back.
Okay.
Okay. So when I make that statement, now the second question it becomes, then why ServiceNow, right? Like if today you will do the survey, today if you will do the analysis, okay, how the ServiceNow or how the ticketing tool market is about, you will notice that 99% of the organization across the globe, and when I say the organization, it's not only the IT, but even the finance, even the HR and whatnot, all of those are using ServiceNow as their ticketing tool. So then
Okay.
when I make that statement, obviously now the second question comes to your mind is, okay, why did this transition happen, right? Why did ServiceNow gain that much of the popularity? Right? It will have to have some X factor, which is differentiating, right?
Right.
So let's try to talk about the same. So what we need to understand over here in this case is if you see the histories, you will notice before, prior to ServiceNow, there were tools like Remedy. You would have heard of these, HP Service Manager. IBM had multiple products around it, IBM Tivoli, IBM Maximo, and whatnot. So if you see these are big brand names, right? It's not some basic tools which I'm talking about. Obviously, apart from these, there were some basic products as well. But major competitors, if I highlight, these were the ones. All these were also ticketing tool. Customers were using those mostly prior to ServiceNow. So what I'm
So are you
trying
still in? Sorry, Saloni. I have a
that's
question.
what I'm taking you to. That's what
Okay.
I'm taking actually.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
now obviously your question will be that, okay, so why did this transition or how ServiceNow came into picture? Because ServiceNow was developed very later after these having in demand and all those stuff. So when I say at a later stage it came, how it controlled the market the way it is today, right? So the major difference was all these prior ticketing tools whose name I have written it over here, they were being delivered to the customer as PaaS. What does that mean? It means, first I'll write it, platform as a service. Whereas, I'll brief you that as well. ServiceNow was being delivered as what it is, was being delivered as SaaS. Now, obviously, the question becomes what is PaaS, what is SaaS? And if you do know these, have you heard about it?
PaaS is platform as a service.
What does that mean? Like any example, any of that?
So basically, you have an in-house server setup, and all that. You install the software and stuff, and then you have different instances across different environments, and then you build what you want on that.
And adding to that, probably it's something like a product, and then we have to depend on the vendor on upgrades or even to enhance any features or something.
So actually what happens, to make it very simple, if I give you a scenario, so platform as a service means, in this case, the platform of the tool will get delivered to you as a customer, which means if this is the case, here in this case, the customer company will be owning up the entire platform of the product. So the customer company signed the contract with the product.
Right.
They got the product, and when that happened, the entire platform is delivered to the customer, which means now the database, the server, plus the UI, everything now the customer company will have to own. The tool owner, the day they sign the tool, build the tool for the company, deliver it to the customer. Now the tool owner, they won't have access of any of these aspects of the product. Each of these aspects will be maintained by the customer company.
Okay.
Now, if we have to differentiate this with software as a service, so in this case, what happens? The tool owner, whatever the tool is about. It's not only ServiceNow, it could be any software as a service product. If I talk about, that's how platform as a service and software services are different. In the software as a service, the tool owner will take care of the database and the server. The
Will
customer
take care of the data. Okay.
will only take care of the UI, the look and feel. Okay, so tool owner is always maintaining, always having access of the DB and the server. The customer company, they cannot log in into the DB and the server directly. Like I cannot, in ServiceNow, if I talk about, I cannot log in into the actual DB. If I have to see the data, I have to see it from ServiceNow UI, from ServiceNow interface. I can insert, I can update, whatever action it is. But actual DB, I won't have access of.
So if there is any changes to that database or server, so is it automatically the features will be upgraded and that's how the customer knows about it?
So everything will be taken care by ServiceNow itself.
By ServiceNow.
Like let's say if I have suppose ServiceNow, actually if you'll see, you will find it out ServiceNow brings new version every year. So for example, in that case, if I talk about, okay, we are saying it is new features. So how are those new features coming in place or whatever? So in that case, ServiceNow says, okay, we will own it up. ServiceNow as a company, they will own it up, that structure.
Are you talking about the product related data or the customer or the client related data?
Customer related data.
I mean, some organizations won't allow that, right? Why will they allow ServiceNow to access client data?
Sensitive information or some private or.
Yeah.
Because, okay. So the vision of ServiceNow is that only, that it is a software and service product. I'll give you one scenario, even on the point which you raised. So in my past 13.5 years, I have handled more than, I will say 10, 15 customers for sure. In that entire list, yeah, I have seen one of the customer, as you said, where they were not okay with having their data in ServiceNow premises. But I've only seen one customer out of that list. Even I've seen so many banks, and even they are agreeing with having their database owned by ServiceNow. But let's say my company is there in a country and that country doesn't allow the data to be in the ServiceNow network. So in that case, ServiceNow does offer platform as a service feature also, but not most of the companies using that because that is not feature of ServiceNow. So if you want it, yeah, ServiceNow will do that customization for you to own up. But as we need to understand in here, obviously, if I say that, okay, you need to go ahead, you need to own up the data, the overhead on the company is increasing, right? Very evident it is here, right? So that's that. So not most of the companies doing that, but yeah, if they want to do, yeah, they are allowed to do that.
So it depends upon the customers.
Like as I said, in those 14, 15 examples which I have worked on, only one of the customer has got ServiceNow platform.
Okay, as a service. Maybe that's because of the data. Like, yeah, okay. Okay.
Because if you try to relate the benefit here, what we need to understand is in this case, the overhead was more, right?
Yeah.
Every aspect of the tool, we were saying, okay, the tool owner will take care of.
That's part of the maintenance work, right? So, but how is the cost wise? How does it?
I'll give you one example. I'll elaborate you just in 1 minute. Now, the vision, if you see, of the ticketing tool, what does it mean? It means the ticketing tool, whole and sole purpose is not to store the, like for example, suppose just a scenario I'll take. Let's say we are working for Apple. Okay. So Apple, if Apple is using ServiceNow as the ticketing tool, it will not store the customer details there. The customers of Apple are not going to use ServiceNow. The vision of ServiceNow is, okay, I'm providing a platform where in-house employees, they can interact with each other technically if and when required. The purpose of ticketing tool is only for the in-house employee, only for storing in-house employees' detail, their assets, the company level information. If you want to store, yeah, you can use ServiceNow. Because your customer data, you are not storing in ServiceNow, is it generating direct revenue for the company? It is not, right? Because I'm saying, yeah, the customer information or the customer detail is not in ServiceNow. Do you
Only
guys
the
agree?
employees' details.
Yeah, means it is kind of a maintenance tool in a way, I can put it that way. Do you guys agree?
Okay,
Kranti?
then, sorry,
Hmm?
Saloni, I have a question here.
Hmm?
So let's take an example. If I work as in an organization and where we are the service provider, and we do deliver service to the customers who are from the clinical field. Let's take as a physicians or healthcare professionals. So how do I see this? Is it something customer and the service provider relationship, or how should I look at
No,
this?
in that case, also the in-house employees, like let's say you are running a hospital
Mhm.
and all the employees, like nurses, doctors, or whatsoever, their detail is going to be stored in that ServiceNow. ServiceNow is not a customer interface. It is for
Okay.
an organization to store its own in-house details or in-house interaction when employees have to do or whatnot.
Okay.
Kranti, does that make sense?
Yeah. So I just did you cover the point on the cost? Sorry, I just missed that.
No, I have not.
Okay.
Okay. So now, guys, just one thing which I want to talk about over here is now think it this way. Again, I'll go back to that Apple example. Apple was, let's just a scenario I'm trying to talk about. Let's say, suppose Apple was initially using Remedy. When Apple was using Remedy, as we can see, we were saying to Apple, okay, you have to own up all these aspects of the product. That is, every layer of the product, Apple will have to own it up.
Mm.
But when ServiceNow came into picture, ServiceNow said, no, you only have to worry about the front end changes, the look and feel, maybe some data management from the UI perspective. But back end, I will take care for you. Which means, let's say tomorrow server needs to be upgraded, it is crashed, some backup has to be done, everything ServiceNow will own it up. So do you guys agree? In that case, obviously, the overhead on customer is very less. Which is, in the earlier tools, when the customer were using all these previous tools, they had to hire, if I talk about just a scenario here, they had to hire DB experts, server experts plus the UI. Means minimum of 3 different type of resources we need. Right?
Yeah.
But if I go in here, we are saying, okay, customer, you can hire UI, which is ServiceNow developers. We are good. Right? So obviously, in this case, do you agree the customer satisfaction will be better? Because the overhead on them has decreased. Right?
So, Saloni, I mean, when you say only UI changes, the customer will take care. So, when you develop a ticketing system or any system, you want to plan your data structure and all those stuff, right? So, that is taken care by the ServiceNow automatically because, for
They
example,
will own it up. It's
then
their product, so you cannot make any DB level changes. The structures and all, you cannot change it.
so you're saying it's all predefined. We just have to use
Yeah.
what is already
Yeah.
there.
Correct.
That will not
Don't
give
have access.
flexibility to the clients, right? Then.
Because the overhead it is taken care of, right? It is saying that, okay, if you purchase a product, maybe, for example, if I purchase Gmail and I say, okay, I want to make it changed for me in specific, I can't, right? Because it's a product at the end of the day. Okay.
Yeah, but a lot of products give the flexibility to change.
ServiceNow doesn't.
Yeah.
That's how it looks. That's how it's UI or configurations are.
Okay.
You don't
But
have
if
access.
you own it as a platform, as a service, you have the ability to change all those.
But in that case, the overhead is more. No? Like, as I said, like one customer I had done the work for them. The overhead was every upgrade of the tool. ServiceNow used to give us the packages and all. We had to deploy it. We had to debug it. So it was little overwhelming, right? Because ServiceNow was not having access. So they can't even help us. We had to sit with, let's say, for example, if something got corrupted in the DB side, we have to sit with the DB experts to get it fixed. Even though I was ServiceNow developer, I know ServiceNow UI, I know ServiceNow development scripts and whatnot. So if the DB is crashed, yeah, the DB experts have to come in. They have to understand, okay, how the backend is designed by ServiceNow for them to tweak it, for them to fix it or whatnot.
Okay.
It was a little overwhelming. It was always challenging there.
So, for example, if there is an issue with the data or on the server side, so we have to raise a ticket for ServiceNow and they will fix it. Is that how the
Yes,
process works? Okay.
that's how the tool is.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Now, proceeding further. The next thing which we need to understand in here is that when we are saying, okay, because of this service now gain popularity and whatnot, it had to maintain itself, right? Because obviously, let's say the tool owner says that, okay, for example, Remedy, if you talk about, even they try to transition towards software as a service. So how ServiceNow maintain itself in the market? Because the vision ServiceNow had, and that's how it is, that's what it is working towards or whatnot. If ServiceNow says, okay, I'll try to provide a platform which can automate each and every in-house employee interaction. Now, what we need to understand in this case is that when I say it was trying to expand itself, so what are different areas ServiceNow expanded? So as I was talking about, initial point was ticketing tool, yeah. But today, if you will see, guys, today you will find it out that, okay, ServiceNow not only provides your ticketing tool, but apart from that, it is giving you a platform where organization can store each and every employee details, department info, whatnot. Second, you can store the financial details of the company if you want. Third, all the HR services detail. Fourth, your I talked about HR employee relationship case and all those stuff also you can store and whatnot. So if, like for example, maybe one other scenario I can give it to you. Okay, let's say for example, a company has certain third party vendors from whom the company is purchasing certain XYZ product. So even those details, if the company wants to store within ServiceNow as something called as buying hub, recently ServiceNow has launched that feature. Even that we can use it for. But as you can see in any of these examples, I'm not talking about the customers of the company because customers of the company are never going to use service. So because the customers are not going to use ServiceNow, the lesser the cost company puts in, the happy it will be, because as I said directly, it is not going to generate revenue. Right? So that was the need because of which when ServiceNow came, it gained the popularity the way it is. Now, if I talk about tickets, let's simplify it a bit further. So I want to show you some use cases over here that why at the first place a ticketing tool was required. Let's say guys, maybe suppose as I said, all of us are part of your company, let's say, and maybe today my laptop is broken. If it is a corporate laptop, obviously you are never advised to go ahead to the vendors or whatsoever and get it rectified, right? You have to go within the company because your laptop is storing the organization info, right?
Yeah.
So let's say I went ahead, I went to the office. Suppose, for example, Srinivas attended, he's the IT help desk guy and he helps me and he's trying to fixing my issue. Maybe in a day, out of the 8 working hours which he has, maybe 4-5 hours are getting spent there. If a tool doesn't exist, let's say at the year end when Srinivas's review time comes up, Srinivas goes ahead to his manager and says that, okay, so and so hours and on so and so day, overall, I helped the employees. But if he doesn't have the data to prove it, obviously it becomes little catchy there, right?
Agree.
It could have been better if he had a product, if he had a tool where he could show that, okay, let's say at 10 a.m., if you can see this ticket was assigned to me and I started working on it. Maybe at 2 p.m., as you can see, I fixed the issue. So if a detail of a data of people performance or stuffs like that is recorded somewhere, it makes the technician's life easy. So this is the benefit for technician. He has platform where his effort is being recorded. From the end user, me, when I was having the laptop issue, for me, how it is benefiting me, I have a platform where I can raise the ticket. If it was not there, if a platform doesn't exist, then I'll have to know every team, okay, this issue, which team will fix and who are the members, so that I'll have to walk to them. But with a tool coming into picture, I just have to go to the tool, raise a ticket, maybe a new request, maybe issue, whatever I have to report, I'll report and I'm done. I don't have to walk to the team, walk to the people or know them in specific for my issue to be fixed, right? So it helps the employees on both the ways. Do you guys agree to that?
Yeah.
So that's why the need of ticketing tool was felt. And that's why all these tools were delivered. Now, coming back to this course, what all we will be trying to cover, guys. So we will be splitting up the course in 3 different areas. We will be talking about starting with the admin, the foundation to understand, okay, what are the base areas. Then we will be going to the development where we'll be learning scripting within ServiceNow. What are the different scripting scopes? How do we do? What do we do? And then the closer of the training we will be doing with your integration. Yeah, so that's what that will be about. Any question till here, guys, like with the basic?
So Saloni, just in regards with the overall course, right? So it will be like a 30 to 32-hour course, and how many days each day? How much time are we looking for?
Almost 30 to 35 hours. It depends, obviously. As obviously, let's say if you ask less query, my content is a limited set of topics which we'll be sharing with you guys. You can have a look. But max 30 classes, it surely goes around. Plus, minus, and here and there is totally fine.
Okay.
So yeah, almost a month, I can say.
Okay. And so each day like 1 hour a day, right?
1 hour. Yeah.
Okay. And
But not on weekends.
No, not on weekends.
not on weekends. Okay. So Monday to Friday.
So if you are in US, then it is your, I'll tell you, my Monday is your Sunday. Your Sunday to Thursday.
Okay.
Your Thursday is my Friday. Yeah, Sunday to Thursday. I'm correct.
Okay. And we'll also be talking about the certifications, right?
So we will be helping you across the training. Also, I'll be highlighting that, okay, this can come into CSA. This is important topic for your interview, your CSA and stuff like that. So I would really request you to make note of it, because when I'm elaborating those, you can make a star pointer maybe in a notebook or whatever. At the end of the training, we will share some docs regarding those for you to keep it handy.
So it will be like on the latest version of certification,
Yeah.
what details you'll be sharing.
Yep.
So it will be related to only the what certifications.
So CSA for sure you can crack after the interview. ITSM is the next level of the course, but again, I would say for that, just get some hands-on before you write it, because over there some scenario-based questions would be there, right? So for you to visualize those scenarios, when you get a hands-on in your tool, maybe on your company level, it gives you more confidence to crack it. At least I feel that.
Sorry, I missed the second one. Which one is that?
ITSM
ITSM. That is for developers, basically.
for developers. Yeah.
Okay. Is there any role called ServiceNow Technical Manager? Is there any certification related to that?
I don't think any certification is there for that. Yeah, obviously the companies do have managers, but certification wise, no, it doesn't exist.
Okay.
Any other question, anyone?
Just one more question related to the certification, right? So they are all like, choose the correct kind of thing, or any other format?
It will be multiple choice.
Multiple choice. Okay. Yeah.
Have we got any other query?
Nope, you're good.
Okay. So as if it was demo, guys, we'll only have half an hour session. We'll catch up once we have the confirmation from both of you, and then we will have a regular classes. So this, whatever we have covered, is part of the content only. So yeah, to go through it, let me know in the next session if you will have any question or what or not.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Okay, guys. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Kranti?
Yeah.
So are you from US or are you from Canada?
No, I'm from US.
US, okay.
How about you?
So, sorry?
You're from Canada?
Yeah, I'm from Canada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So our next session is tomorrow. Is it like every day 30 minutes or I missed that part?
No, I think she said it will be 1 hour every day.
1 hour, right? Okay, just for today, it is 30 minutes.
Yeah, because it's a demo, I think.
Yeah. Okay, got it.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Okay then. Thanks, Kranti. Talk to you tomorrow.
Hey, Srinivas, is there anything that you want to talk or else?
Yeah, Kranti. So I will update you in WhatsApp, okay, regarding payments, enrollment process,
Sure.
and so on. So I will send the bank details, both of you, and
Sure.
same meeting link every day.
Mhm.
We can start from tomorrow regular sessions. Okay.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
Sure.
Oh,
Thank you.
thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.